All right. Hi, everybody, and welcome to this semester's first Psych Talk. My name is Edgar Jimenez, and I am the president of SOAR. Before we get started, I'd really like to appreciate everyone who is speaking on behalf of your guys' organization. I appreciate you guys coming and letting students know, the opportunities that are available through your organizations. Getting involved in clubs and labs is a great way to make connections with students as well as faculty, and it could create a lot of opportunities going forward in your journey, whether you are looking to apply to graduate programs or PhD programs. Getting involved allows schools to know that you are active and serious about your field and can allow you to become more of a creative candidate in the application process. As well as being involved allows you to make more connections with faculty and other students, and this can lead the faculty to get to understand the student in a more personal way and can help create a better, more strong letter of recommendation, which is also a great way to make you look like a stronger candidate in the application process. So for today's schedule, we will be having clubs go first, with the exception of Dr. Abison, who will start due to time constraints. And then we will go into labs and then have Dr. Graham end with some opportunities he has with peer team facilitating opportunities. As well, if there are any questions, please feel free to direct them to Sophie if you do not want to ask them yourself. I would say if you do have questions for the person who is presenting on behalf of the organization, please hold off till they are done presenting. And then hopefully we have a little bit of minutes to ask after every presentation. So if you guys have any questions, please direct them to Sophie. And for the sake of time, let's get started. Dr. Evison, are you ready? Cool.
Yes, thank you to SOAR for having me and for accommodating my schedule. I'm running around taking kids to soccer practices. Before I talk about my lab, I just want to mention one thing. We're going to be sending out to all of the students a form that you can simply fill out to indicate interest in any of the research labs. We want to make sure that it's going to be that everybody knows that that these opportunities are available. So that'll also be on the website. You should look for that either today or tomorrow. I have two research labs. The first one is the Intergroup Relations Lab. We study issues of prejudice and bias, and we're primarily focused on how experiences such as contact experiences, and that can be friendships with people from groups unlike the ones that you belong to, how that influences people's attitudes. Theoretically, we work from a model that examines contact and feelings of threat, and that in turn predicts attitudes. So yeah, broadly, that's going to be the main type of study that we do in the Intergroup Relations Lab. We've probably over the years, we present our work every year, usually at the Western Psychological Association. So we've been doing that for quite some time. I've had a lot of presentations and several publications come out of the work. My newer lab is the Quantitative Methods Lab, oftentimes called the Nerd Lab, where we study statistics. We study statistics. Last semester, we worked and built what are called shiny apps that are interactive web-based interfaces for running complex analyses. So we've been pretty productive there. We have one paper that's come out of that lab with another one sitting and waiting for me to write it. All right, so that's just all. That's about it for me. My lab is relatively light right now, so we definitely have plenty of space. And people can either just fill out the form, or you can just email me directly for information about the lab. All right, thanks a lot, everybody. I'll try to stick around as long as I can.
Thank you, Dr. Everson. Does anyone have questions for Dr. Everson?
I have a question. Do you have lab meetings weekly?
It's not weekly. I think we try to do them. Bi-weekly. We haven't really started meeting yet because I lost my great lab manager. Is now in a PhD program at Davis, so we haven't been as organized, but with me trying to keep stuff together. I don't know. Come on.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Iverson. And if you guys have any questions, or you can either direct them towards Sophie or we can wait towards the end. Next up, we will have clubs go. So I will be presenting on behalf of SOAR, and then we will have Psych/Psych Hub go up next. Hopefully everyone is able to see. Is everyone able to see? Cool. So hi everybody. So I will be talking on the behalf of SOAR. So first off, we're gonna be kind of talking about what is SOAR. So SOAR, or the Scholars of Academic Research, is a student-led club in which we kind of just come together, and people who are interested in research are able to come to an environment in which kind of everyone is on the same page. This club is both a mixture of undergrads and grads. There is really no requirements to joining the club. If you want to be a member, as long as you are interested in research, this is the right club for you. With this club, we try to bring both researchers from out of Humboldt State, so both local and non-local researchers, to come talk about their research, and talk about the research, and really just have a big conversation about the interest of research. Okay, sorry, my computer's kind of slow right now. One of the big things that SOAR is kind of known for is both Psych Talks and professional development. For Psych Talks, we invite researchers, both, as I mentioned earlier, from various fields in psychology, both local and non-local. We have had some big names from psychology from various fields come and give talks. It's always a pleasure to have people come talk about their research. For me personally, it's kind of, I just get pleasure out of having people come talk, and like, it's rather than reading it on a paper, you're seeing the person, the primary investigator, talk about it and what kind of their thought process that went behind it, and like, it's kind of it's on a more personal level. As well as with professional development, these are seminars put on by both officers and as well as club members who are really interested in kind of putting on seminars on what they think would be beneficial for us, the students, to know. In the past, we have had seminars on how to write a CV/resume, as well as what is possible to do with the BA in psychology. I led a seminar last year talking about the hidden curriculum. These are just a few of the seminars that have been put in the past, and this is a great way and a great opportunity for students who are interested in joining clubs, especially SOAR, to get involved with SOAR. You do not need to be an officer to lead these clubs, to lead these seminars. If you are interested and have an idea, just bring it up to one of us, bring it up to me, and we can work a way to make these seminars happen. Other opportunities that joining and being in SOAR is networking. Like I mentioned earlier, we try to bring speakers, both local and non-local. I know for this semester, we are having somebody come talk from the UK who does research. So, you have a broad range of people coming from different fields of psychology as well as different schools. So having your name involved and interacting with these people allows for a great way to network. As well as, we always have opportunities and funding, at least with SOAR and fundraising. If you have ideas or just like being creative, this could be a great way for you to get involved in SOAR. We are always looking for ways just to get money and help fund more research talks, have more people come from different various fields in research as well as outside. As well as before, we also tended to fund people doing, like, our own students doing research. So we'd fund their like if they want to do WPA or Idea Fest, we'd help with printing out posters or sometimes even paying the fees. As well, our biggest opportunity is professional development. As I mentioned earlier, we do have a big interest in this, and we always want students to be involved And this is a great way for students to actively be involved and help other students on what they think other students should know. Here, this is our contact list for SOAR. We have our SOAR website, which is up here. And then if you guys have any questions, please feel free to email me, which is located here down below. And as well, we have an opportunity right now. If you guys are interested in becoming a SOAR member, we have both a secretary and vice president positions open right now. These do close on the 24th, so next week on Friday. I will be dropping these in the chat after my presentation, but if anybody wants more information about the club or is interested, just please let me know. Thank you. Is there any questions for me and or SOAR? No.
I do.
Yes.
What are the requirements for secretary or vice president for the positions?
Yeah, so the requirements for secretary really depend on what we're doing. So mainly it would be helping plan our talks, inviting people, as well as taking notes during our lab meetings. And for VP, it's kind of being there just in case the president isn't available. You know what's going on and are able to take the president's position, as well as professional development is the major. It's kind of more of the VP's baby. So they are kind of the one who is trying to keep it going and are interested in trying to get more people into it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool, and
Is
I
there
may
any-
have missed this, but I didn't really hear, I might have missed when you said the meetings are for
Oh,
SOAR?
yeah, so right now we are having open meetings, or we're trying to shoot for every other week. I think we will be having our first open meeting next week. However, I can get back to you guys on that.
Aren't they on Fridays,
Yes, from what I remember, I think they are on Fridays.
3 to 4?
Yes.
Cool, thank you.
Of course. Is there any more questions? Okay, cool. Haley, are you ready to talk for Psych Club and Psych?
We're gonna have Rachel talk about Psych Club and Psych today,
Okay, cool.
if Rachel's ready. Awesome, thank you, Rachel.
Hi, yeah, thanks. I'm gonna share my screen really quick if that's okay. Let's see. I think you should see my Google Chrome. Oh no.
Yeah, we see your presentation.
Okay, here we go. Perfect. Well, first of all, thanks for letting me speak on behalf of Psych Club and Psych High. I'm excited to walk you through this all. I'm Rachel. I'm the vice president of this club. And as Edgar mentioned, Haley is our president. So we're both here representing this. So today we're pretty much going to walk you through explaining what Psych Club and Psych High are, how they're associated with each other, what they have to offer to students, and how students can join. So to start off, let's differentiate between the two clubs. Psych High is an honor society for those who are majoring and minoring in psychology. And to be involved, students must fill out an application and pay a one-time membership fee. There are multiple benefits which come with paying this fee, and you can explore these options on our website. Psych High helps to connect students with faculty and community professionals. And one of our most well-known events is our Meet a PhD event that we go. Those are super fun, and I'll talk a little bit more about those in a second here. Oops. We also have our Psych High induction ceremony, which is also going to be talked about in a little bit. Now, the psychology club is open for all students, so it's not limited to those who are majoring or minoring in psych, and it helps to build social connections and get people involved in psychology. We put on social activities and volunteer activities and special events like those listed here on the screen. So we have general club meetings. Sometimes we throw holiday themed events and have some psychology trivia events. So these are all pretty fun things that we offer with this club. Going into detail on what those Meet a PhD events are, you can see here on the screen, it says the who, what, when, and why of academia. So we throw these events featuring professionals in psychology and other related fields who discuss their journey through graduate school and their professional career. So basically in these talks, you can learn about their current research and hear thoughtful advice based on personal experience. You also get an opportunity to ask questions to these professionals. So you get direct feedback if you're interested in the research that they're doing or any other things related to what they spoke about during the event. So our most recent event was a few days ago, and it was celebrating Latinx diversity. It was a huge success, and you can see on the bottom of the screen here, we've had multiple past events, and we plan to have more this year. So that Psych induction ceremony we have in the spring of every year. And this is to celebrate students who are accepted in a Psych and are becoming a part of this chapter. This is where students and faculty come together to recognize and celebrate the success of both clubs. And inductees are sent a Psych certificate and a little label pin, which is pretty exciting. You could be proud and wear your pin all about. So for more information about joining Psych, you could check the website. And you can see it here on the bottom of the screen, but there's also, I'm sure, we could get that website out to you in a different way if you're interested. We also have merchandise. I'm actually wearing my club shirt right now. Oh yeah, look at Haley. There we go. So these are the designs from last year that we had. We had a member design this awesome logo, and a portion of these purchases goes towards the funding of the events and the volunteer opportunities and traveling and more. So it helps our club grow, and it makes you look really cool wearing our merch. So highly recommend getting some of that if you're interested. And here's a few of our upcoming events. So we've got a Meet a PhD event featuring Kevin Montes coming up on September 28th from 4 to 5 p.m. And this presentation will focus on predictors of substance use. So for example, pre-onset expectancies and substance use identity, protective behavioral strategy use and alcohol recovery. We also have our welcome event and Psych informational meeting coming up on October 5th, also at 4. And so you can learn more about how to apply to Psych, and we could get you that website that I was talking about. And we could also just get you a lot more information about Psychology Club in general. So we have some more information about open club meetings that are gonna get sent out soon. And with that, here's a few ways to get involved with our club right now. So you are totally welcome to follow our Instagram page for updates on future events like the Meet a PhD or the welcome event that's coming up soon. You can also visit that club website. It's listed here. And we have officer elections every spring semester. So if you're interested in getting involved, you could join this fall and see how we do things, and then possibly apply for a leadership position in the spring. So we're really excited to recruit new members, and we hope you're interested. I was talking about a lot of stuff, so I hope I didn't go too fast and you caught some of that information, but feel free to reach out to any of these people listed here. So like I said, we have Haley, our president. You could totally contact me and our club advisors, Dr. Villarreal, and yeah, so thank you so much. I hope you are interested, and I hope to see some of your faces soon.
Thank you, Rachel. Is there any questions for Psych Club and or Psych?
Sorry, did you ask something?
If there was any questions for Psych.
Oh, sorry. It like lagged on my end, and then it was quiet, and I was like, wait, did I get asked something? Yeah, are there any? Oh yeah, so I just want to let everyone know that right now our merchandise sale is closed for the moment, but very, very soon we will be, I'm going to be talking to the fundraising chair very shortly, and we will be getting merchandise up this semester. Very, very likely. So we'll keep you guys up to date on that as well. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rachel. You did such a great job. I know it was a little tease, but there's great things to come. So I hope that we can make some good stuff to sell, and everyone can rock the merch. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Haley. Thank you, Rachel. And thank you both Psych and Psych Club for letting the students know about the opportunities available. Next, we have Adaptable.
Hello, I'm gonna share my screen here in just a second. Make sure it's working. All right, is everybody able to see that?
Yes.
I'll just give it a little restart so you can see all the pretty stuff. All right, so hi everybody, thank you for having me. I'm here to talk to y'all about a new club. We were just approved, so exciting. And this club is organized by students with disabilities for students of all abilities. It's a place where we can work together to adapt to this ever-changing world, as we have seen quite a lot of in the last couple of years. So one question that creates problems for identification within the disabled community is understanding how someone is considered a person with disabilities according to our current definition. So I think it's important to start off with this because a lot of people might be like, totally want to join this club, but I don't know what it qualifies. So many individuals who struggle with the identity of being a person with disabilities have proposed to take back the word disabled because it's not a dirty word. We shouldn't feel like it is. And according to the Americans with Disabilities Act, a person with a disability is defined as someone who has difficulty performing specific tasks related to daily living or with various social roles. Some of those tasks include, but are not limited to, vision, hearing, mobility, cognitive, and psychological impairments. This definition is one that might not be as in, or is more inclusive than what you might think. And then for our club in particular, we really focus on the social model of disabilities, where it's not necessarily our bodies and our minds that are disabling, rather it's society that disabled us. So moving on, our mission for Adaptable is to provide a club that helps students connect, educate, and advocate for people with disabilities, regardless of having a diagnosis. Members of Adaptable, we work to create an accessible campus through openness, compassion, and advocacy. And it's in communicating about those difficulties that we can potentially make some real changes. And also, Adaptable provides all students with tools to help adapt and promote the achievement of their educational and career goals. The biggest opportunity that Adaptable provides currently is for the student body to have a chance to connect with people with disabilities and for people with disabilities to have a chance to connect with each other and form a sense of community. Throughout the disability justice movement, people with disabilities have insisted nothing about us without us. So I think it's really important that we all get together and make those voices loud. So Adaptable is going to raise the voices of people with disabilities on our campus. And that just makes us louder and stronger to get together and finally giving us a seat at the table rather than forced segregation and isolation. This is a pretty diverse and intersectional community, and we will be providing a wealth of resources, educational materials, and eventually workshops and events within the HSU community. So we would love it if you would join us and help make our voices be heard. Currently, we have meetings Thursdays and Sundays. Tonight is our first official meeting, so I'll post the Zoom link and all the goods in the chat here. And we're just gonna kind of go over what everybody would like to do with the meetings and catch up on some of the current things that we've been working on. So if you'd like to join, email us or stop by the Zoom meeting, and also help us thank Dr. Gaffney for being our advisor. And we also have Jillian in the chat, who's our co-director. I don't know if Kira's here, but she's going to be helping with the technology and media, and she made the really cool Adaptable that was in the beginning of the presentation. So we're pretty excited. And one of the big opportunities that we provide is to be a part of building a club, the opportunity to really get your voice heard and get those ideas somewhere where hopefully they'll be picked up and, keep moving for years to come. So thank y'all for having me.
Thank you, Alicia. Really good job.
Thanks. Any questions?
Hello, are you guys able to hear me? My Zoom is lagging. Okay, cool. Thank you, Adaptable, for creating this space for students and allowing students to feel heard. Is there any questions for Adaptable? Okay, if not, we have peer mentors talking next.
Hi. Oh, one sec. My computer's not turning on. Hi, everybody. I'm going to share screen. One sec. Okay. You guys see it? Cool. Hi. Okay, so my name's Portia. I'm a major-based peer mentor. And so what is MBPM, also known as major-based peer mentor? It's a resource to students to connect to faculty, department, and the community. I do personal one-on-ones to check in with students and see how they're doing, help them with their DARs, help them with really anything that students need help with. And just to clarify, we're not a club. This is through first year ramp. So not a club, but yeah, we serve second, third, fourth, and transfer students, and we support the development of an academic identity. We also have a focus on first generation students and students who are BIPOC. And we actually have an event coming up on Wednesday. It's a Psych Lounge hangout, and it's getting to know your faculty, tour of BSS, and trivia with a high flex option. So that is coming up on Wednesday. We haven't set up, I haven't set up the Zoom link yet, so that will be coming up soon. And I actually forgot to put something, but that's okay. We have to register before, but if you guys have any interest in doing this, just let me know. You can like private message me and I can set up. I forgot to put the Zoom link because we're limited to 20 people. And so, yeah, that's basically like ramp in a nutshell. So if you want to set up a one-on-one meeting with me, here's my email. I can also type it in the chat. But yeah, I'm just here to help students do whatever they need to. Yeah, I'm just a mentor and I'm here as a resource and I just want to help students. And you don't need to be associated with first year ramp or anything. You can come directly to me to set up a meeting. There's nothing that needs to be done before. I'm just here to help the students in any way. Thank you. I'm gonna pause share. I don't know how to do this. Sure. I have no idea. I'm sorry how to end this. Let me figure it out.
You could just do escape and then stop share.
Oops. Thank you so much, guys. Edgar, I think you're muted.
You're muted.
Hello?
There you go.
Hi.
Okay, sorry, my whole Zoom screen is black, so I can't really see anybody. So on my side, I can't see. But next on the list, we have Academic Motivation and Resiliency Lab going. So please take it away.
Sure thing, Edgar. Okay, hello everyone. Let me just share my screen. And can you see the full presentation now? I guess I can't even see you. Oh, here we go. I'll do gallery. Okay, can everyone see my shared screen? The presentation? Okay, cool. All right, well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for having us today, exploring what psychology has to offer. Today, I'm going to be going over the Academic Motivation and Resilience Lab offered here at HSU. I am Haley Wetherell. I am the lab manager, and this lab is under the principal investigator, Dr. Brandolin Villarreal. So the general focus of the Academic Motivation and Resilience Lab, our research interest is based on the intersection of developmental psychology, motivation, and education. Broadly, we study how students overcome various challenges in transitioning from secondary to post-secondary education, and as they pursue and persist their academic and educational goals. And we also focus on the specific skills and strategies and attributes that might help students overcome and attain difficult goals. And we focus on students such as first generation college students, those who are first in their family to get a degree, and other underrepresented students in academia. And we're also really interested in motivational and self-regulatory strategies. And our lab is guided by students' capacity for resilience and change as co-producers of their development. And so a little bit about the lab. We meet weekly on Tuesdays from 3 to 4 p.m. on Zoom. And our lab meetings will be virtual until further notice, until we're fully back on campus and we get the okay. But for now, we're online. And every week, usually on average, one lab member will present. They will choose a relevant research article, they'll break it down, they'll summarize it. And then we have an overall discussion as a group about the research methods, the topic in general, and kind of what would we do if we were to do the research ourselves, and kind of just explore that. As you're participating in the lab, you can collaborate with other research assistants on conference projects, and undergrads can work with other grad students to assist in their research. And like I mentioned, you learn how to analyze research articles, and you can kind of learn the process of like brainstorming ideas and writing an abstract and presenting a poster even if you want to. So that's kind of the general information of this lab. And recent research projects that we've done, SRA, the Society of Research on Adolescents, that conference, the deadline was just earlier this week. So some undergrads and some grad students were working together to make some projects. And through this, you gain experience. And we've been able to do projects such as under here, transforming stress, hardiness training with disabled college students during COVID-19. And also threat stress appraisals moderate the relationship between social support and degree commitment. So since COVID has happened, we have been more interested in students' motivation through COVID and just stuff like that. And so I think I also wanted to mention that, let's see, I just want to mention as well, you have opportunities to work with grad students. So for instance, I am a grad student in the lab, and I'm interested in academic identity and possibly doing a qualitative study. So if you're interested in helping me someday, that'll be probably something that we'll be doing. So that's just some examples of what we do in the lab. And now, if you're interested, here are the requirements. We would prefer you complete Psych 240 or 242, which is the undergrad research methods, and be able to attend the weekly lab meetings for at least one semester, and be able to be in contact with us if you are unable to make the meetings, and also have an interest in academic success or educational goals, motivation, or other groups that are traditionally underrepresented in academia. And Our lab also accepts graduate students for the academic research master's program or blended program in psychology with a specialization in developmental psychology. So that is also an option. So if you are interested, you may contact me, the lab manager. I'm Haley Wetherill. Here's my email. Or for more information, just in the general interests of Dr. Villarreal, you can definitely email her, and we would be more than happy to get you on board with us. And thank you so much. Are there any questions
Hello.
at all?
Thank you, Haley. Is there any questions for Motivation Lab?
Hopefully I said everything, but thank you so much.
If not, we can move to the Behavioral and Doctrinology Research Lab.
Hi, yeah, it's Rachel again. I am having funky internet connection, so I'm going to keep my camera off, but I will share my screen. So I don't have a cool presentation this time, but here is our website. And with that, I'll get going. So yeah, the Behavioral and Doctrinology Research Lab is run by Dr. Han, and we're interested in anything that has to do with faces, facial perceptions, social behavior, emotions, and hormones. And I'm the lab secretary, if any of you are wondering why I'm talking about this. So some of the topics that we've taken a look at include social perceptions from facial cues, sensitivity to facial display of emotion, hormonal factors influencing parental or caretaking behavior, and testosterone, aggression, and competition. Because of COVID, our lab has been limited on the research we could do, but we currently have bi-weekly Zoom meetings, which consist of research article and graduate thesis presentations. So we get to discuss research relevant to our interest, students get to get presentation experience, and we strengthen our skills in finding key information in research articles, which is a really great advantage in psychology. So normally our lab would consist of coming into the lab for in-person meetings every week and creating a shared space for people to connect and study. But when we're in person, we also have access to a handful of research equipment. So this equipment includes things like a facial EMG, an eye tracker, a thermal camera, the ability to research hormones through saliva, body composition scale, which records your body weight, water weight, fat percentage, and a whole bunch more. And we also have a photography suite. So again, with COVID, we haven't been able to use the equipment, and it's really sad. It's collecting dust in the lab. But if you're really interested on getting hands-on experience, feel free to contact one of us, and we could get you some training on there right now. Our lab also has a goal of trying to produce one collaborative lab project per semester so that everybody can collect data and get involved. In this case, research assistants would sign up for specific times during the week to go into the lab and collect data. So for example, before COVID, Burl was working on collecting a database of faces that are more representative. Most face databases in research are full of young white people. So we wanted to create a database which is diverse with age, ethnicity, and sexual identity. So with all of that being said, if you're interested in becoming a research assistant in Burl, there are many opportunities which come with this involvement. And some of these opportunities include getting to work with graduate students and helping them conduct their thesis research, and making and presenting conference presentations. It's also expected of RAs to assist in at least some data collection throughout the semester and give one article presentation. So feel free to reach out to Dr. Han, Jeff, our lab manager, or me if you have any more questions or want to become a research assistant for the Behavioral and Doctrinology Lab. And our lab manager, Jeff, has even said himself that he was really nervous at first about joining a lab and getting involved for the first time because he had no clue where to start. But he did it, he showed up, and he said that Dr. Han and the graduate students in the lab made him feel totally comfortable, welcome, and at ease. So don't fret it. We love new lab members and can't wait to help get you involved. So thanks again for having me. I swear this is the last time I'm going to talk, and hope to see some of your faces in Burl.
Thank you. Is there any questions for the lab? I am not able to see the chat, so if anybody is able to monitor that, please and thank you.
No questions in the chat for now.
Okay, thank you. So we can move on to the Behavioral Neuroscience Research Lab by Dr. Gatan.
Edgar, was Dr. Gatan supposed to give the presentation?
No, we had his research assistant come in.
Are you here, research assistant, who I do not know your name?
Okay, we can move on. The next lab is the Culture, Diversity, and Adolescent Development Lab, who the primary investigator is Dr. Iturbide.
Did you want me to go for it, Edgar?
Yeah, can you
Yeah.
please?
Yeah. Hey everyone, my name is Bernardo Sosa Rosales. I'm one of the graduate students under Maria. I'm also one of the co-managers. So we are the Cultural Diversity and Adolescent Development Research Lab. Let's see. So we tend to focus on culture. So culture is a very broad and vague term that's used from everything from psychology to anthropology and etc. However, in our lab, we tend to look at it as a set of attitudes, beliefs, values, traditions, and behaviors associated within a particular group. We're also looking into diversity. So diversity is a range of differences, including but not limited to race, ethnic identity, gender identity, sexual orientation, age, social class, and physical ability or attributes. These are some, but not everything. So in our lab, we specialize in these variables, such as ethnic identity, acculturation, and ethnic minority stressors. And we tend to look at these variables and see how their link is to adolescent risk behavior, well-being, and positive development. One of the great things about our lab is that we're a mixed methods lab. We do things from quantitative studies, so surveys, statistical work, etc. Then before the pandemic hit, we were focusing on the qualitative project, which is creating surveys, which is creating interviews, doing group work. However, I recently just got an email for a key to the lab again, so hopefully I could bring that back up. We could start bringing that bad boy up to speed. Another great thing is that we tend to focus on community service. Recently, this past week, there was a Out of Darkness walk, and our lab was one of the participants in it. Hopefully, again, once the pandemic has subsided, we'll start bringing those back again. Our research projects are student-led. It's very much a collaborative effort. It'll either be graduate students taking charge, our undergrads taking charge, and essentially no one's on their own. We just tend to rise them up and help them build foundations so they could know what to do when it comes to posters and such. Other than that, that's pretty much it. We tend to meet Mondays, I believe, 4 to 5. We're just trying to make everything accommodating for everyone's time at the moment. If you are interested in our research, do contact Dr. Iturbide or myself or Edgar. I'm pretty sure we can give you our information in the chat. But yeah, thank you for your time.
We got a shout out at the walk, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah, we were we raised the second most amount of money.
Woohoo!
For the walk. Yes, we did good.
Thank you, Bernardo. Is there any questions for the lab?
I do.
Yes.
I'm really interested in this lab. I just want to know if one of the topics or one of the things, one of the possible research things, research topics is gifted children and minority communities.
So we do read articles that during the lab, so this can be a possible article that you can bring up, and then we as a lab can read this article and kind of bounce ideas which can possibly be a research presentation / article that we could do in the future?
It's definitely something that we could bounce upon on. It's just if we look more into the research, we could definitely work with that if you're interested in looking into gifted children. It's not a guarantee, but we can see what we can make it happen with that.
Okay. And it's Mondays from 3 to 4?
I believe it's 4 to 5, right, Edgar?
4 to 5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's a process. You have to contact me and I interview all our lab members before they join.
Okay.
So if you're interested in joining, you do have to contact me so we can set up an interview.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next on the list, we have Dr. Gold's social influence.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah, and I want to apologize in advance. I don't have a beautiful presentation like you all did, but I'm hoping I can get you guys excited with my little spiel here. So again, my name is Sarah. I am a co-director in Dr. Gold's Social Influence Lab. And in this lab, students really get hands-on experience with social psychological research. So how involved you want to become is always up to you, but it is typical for students to contribute to the design of studies, conduct studies, including sometimes even playing the role of a Confederate, and then to write up and present research that they've worked on during the year at WPA. And if you're really motivated, you can also become a co-author on a paper. Of course, that level of involvement is not required, but it is an option. And I should mention that going back to the beginning of Dr. Gold's lab, which started all the way back in 2001, so it's been 20 years now, virtually all of Dr. Gold's former lab students who really wanted to have gone on to become professors, lawyers, doctors, nurses, school counselors, etc. So that being said, I can confidently say that your efforts in this lab will definitely be worthwhile. So there's a lot of exciting things happening this year too. So for example, this semester, we are following up on a study that surveyed students around the country in regards to how they were dealing with the stress of the lockdown and how they were adhering to social distancing guidelines, mask mandates, things like that. And we also may be collaborating with researchers at UCLA regarding medical students' reactions to taking part in research as Confederates. And so just to share a little bit of my experience with the lab. So for one, I'm actually planning on applying to the master's program here at HSU in academic research. So just being able to see how research is conducted, how data is collected and analyzed, and then also how to interpret the results and everything else that goes into research has really been an invaluable experience for me, because it's something that I'll be able to take with me along my journey as a grad student and even throughout my career. And I've also been given some really incredible opportunities as well, just by being a member of this lab. Actually, this semester, I began working with Dr. Gold on a cannabis entrepreneurs project, which is a grant-funded project that has not only allowed me to gain some really good experience in different specialties like business and economics, but it's also been an opportunity for me to make some money as well. So that's been really great. But yeah, just to wrap it up, we'd love to have you join if this sounds like something you would be interested in. We're pretty light right now, so we've got plenty of space, and yeah, feel free to contact me. I can drop my email in the chat, and I look forward to hopefully hearing from some of you soon. And thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you. Is there any questions for the chat or for this lab?
When are the meetings?
Yes, so we are meeting right now every Monday from 2:30 to 3:30, but we are, because we don't have a ton of lab members, we are like, if we have any new members that can't make that meeting, we're pretty flexible, so we can see if we can work something else out.
Thank you. Next, we have Social Identity and Social Influence Lab. the primary investigator for this lab is one of our advisors, Dr. Gaffney.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Andy. I'm going to be speaking on behalf of the SI lab. Can you guys all hear me okay? Awesome. Cool. I'm in the BSS, so I have to be all masked up. But I'm going to share my screen. All right. So this is the SI lab. And just to introduce myself, my name's Andy. I am a graduate student working with Dr. Gaffney, who is the primary investigator of this lab. And I've been in the lab for a while. It's been really fun, got a lot of great opportunity. So the SI, let me minimize this, lab focuses on social identity and self-categorization processes, which underlie social and political attitudes and behavior. So a lot of our research is politically oriented, and we look at how thoughts, feelings, and behaviors influence our social identity. So this is a kind of old picture of the lab. And then if you go to the research section, you can look at some of our selected publications that we've done and symposium conveyor, some presentations. And at the bottom, there's a lot of student-led and poster presentations. So you can kind of see some of the things that we've done as students in the lab. There's quite a lot. And then if we go over to the People's tab, sorry, this is taking forever to load. Okay, awesome. So this is Amber Gaffney, who's the principal investigator, and this talks a little bit about her background and research. And our lab manager is Zoe Berg, and I'll drop their email in the chat once I'm done, or maybe Gaffney can do that, but they are the ones to talk to about anything lab related. And some of our researchers are Dennis Estrada and Stephanie Suter, and Stephanie is actually a lecturer this semester at HSU, so she's gone on to do some really cool things. And then here is all of our graduate students. So you can click on us. So like this is me. So I'm interested for my thesis in studying group processes and intergroup relations, specifically within human-animal relations. And I want to explore how these relationships relate to a broader understanding of human nature using social psychology. And basically you can look through any of these, like Jacob is doing some really cool studies on masculinity and the LGBTQ community and all that sort of things. So this is a great section to look at what we're all doing as lab members. And then here are some more of our research assistants. And here is a section for the alumni. So a lot of members of the lab go on to do really cool PhD programs, like Ali, who's doing hers at Syracuse University, University of Alberta, Texas Tech. And some people have become programmer analysts with Internews, design researcher at Bank of the West. Pao, who was our lab manager last semester, is now a behavior interventionalist with Precious Hearts Academy. So a lot of people have gone on to do a lot of really cool things. Sorry. And then here's just some other things that people have done from the lab. So yeah, in terms of joining the lab, we aren't taking new members this semester, but you can definitely always email Dr. Gaffney to see when we will be taking more new members and get involved. So yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you. Is there any questions for the lab?
I have one. Andy, why is your lab so cool?
Well, for one, Jazz, Amber's dog, is always at the meetings, and Jazz is amazing. But yeah, it's just a great lab. It's awesome. Everyone's so supportive and sweet, and we're all super cool. So
Also, one of Dr. Gaffney's former students who was kind of mentioned, Ali, she will be doing a psych talk on November 18th. So it's kind of cool to see alumni coming back and kind of talking about their research. So stay tuned for that. If we don't have any more questions, we have our final presenter, which is Dr. Graham. He will be talking about some peer team facilitator opportunities. here at HSU. Whenever you're ready, Dr. Graham.
All right, thanks. And I have full powers to share my screen and stuff?
Yes.
All right, great, great. How's everyone doing? Trying to get up and shake a little bit. It's getting late. All right, cool. Let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. Start this presentation. It's good to see a handful of familiar faces, but a lot of new folks because I was away this past year. So this is going to slot in. I have a sex research lab with a lot of things in the oven and some complicated community projects that are waiting to hatch. So if you want to talk about that, you can always send me an email, but that's not why I'm here today. I got still kind of in development, but there's an opportunity for the spring that I would really want to share with you guys because, you know, here at HSU, we offer so many different things. You can see the diversity of all of the wonderful faculty and the things that they're doing. And then you've kind of been imagining your career and where you might want to go from here. So this is a little bit different. This is essentially technically a TA opportunity for the spring, but it's TA with a twist. That's about the only thing in name only. It's actually an opportunity to be part of a team of peer facilitators getting engaged in the Humboldt community. Let me show you what that looks like. So there's a few things that are coming together here. Community work, job market, and uncertain future. So this is going to offer some skills and some experiences here that don't that are kind of unique in terms of the things you learn in class and the things you learn in research. So some of you are probably thinking about your careers and where you want to go, and it probably feels a little bit like this, right? You know, we're looking at an incredibly changing landscape, changing by the day. You know, this move to remote work, you know, nothing will be the same when we go back. You may have heard the term the fourth industrial revolution and how it's changing career opportunities, economic uncertainty. What's there to worry about these days, right? Everything's under control. But wait, we're training you in psychological skills. We're training you in research skills. There are so many great opportunities. What will you need in the work world? You know, those skills are coming to fruition. There's also going to be calls for new flexibility in what work looks like, entirely new emerging careers, and a new focus on your skills, including people skills. So concurrently, amidst all this anxiety, and then I'll kind of get to what this is about, we're also like looking at a lot of things happening in the world and wondering how can we respond to this, and what does this mean for our communities now? What does it mean for our communities into the future? And how do we engage with that? Many of you are working, many of you have volunteered through organizations like the Yes House. And what this is about, what this opportunity is about, is community-based service learning. That's the experience of students in a classroom learning content material, but then applying that content material in a actual service context. So not just showing up on Thanksgiving to give a can of food to the homeless, but looking at the structures of why do we have homelessness? How do we intervene, and how can there be real, meaningful community interventions? That kind of thing. And we've worked with a whole bunch of different Humboldt organizations. So why am I here, and how does this kind of tether into your, you know, ambitions about joining labs and thinking about other aspects of things you want to do during your time here at HSU? This is an opportunity to be a teaching assistant next spring for 3 units. You would serve as a peer facilitator for a community-based service learning project. So instead of being the service learner, you would actually be the peer facilitator running a small team. But you're not doing it alone. Let me explain the structure. The community and action leadership effort here that I'm presenting on will involve 2 different teams of 5 to 6 peer facilitators. One will be for a community psychology class, and the other one will be for abnormal psychology. You're probably asking yourself, do I have to take these classes before I can do it? Not necessarily. It helps, but if you haven't taken these classes, let's talk. The team of TA facilitators will meet once per week, so you're not alone with this. You'll be learning from other peer facilitators who are based at other sites with other teams. And then you'll meet one-on-one with your site team, which will be the service learners who are in that either community psychology or abnormal psychology class. What will I learn and do? You'll learn how to engage in community action with a partner program or community organization. You will be the point person to talk to the site coordinator. This could be something based here at HSU, but oftentimes it's based in the community. So we work with Pacific Union School on a socio-emotional learning initiative. We work with Humboldt Mediation Services to promote mediation resources within the community. We've worked with the Open Door Community Garden. We've worked with Centro del Pueblo on some of their efforts 2 years ago. And there's some other partnerships that we'll be doing. We'll also be working with our local stuff at HSU, the Sexual Assault Prevention Committee, and other sorts of activities. You'll learn how to facilitate and guide a team. develop project management skills. So, these kind of real workplace things where if you go to graduate school, these are skills that are very relevant to that track. And then if you decide to just start your career early, these are skills are very generalizable, but also important, especially in this changing era we're in. And this is a great chance to apply intersectional identity frameworks. Service learning is not about charity. It's about looking at the deep structures of inequalities, looking at who we are and who the communities we serve are, and trying to work within that dynamic lens. There's been some really wonderful organic things happen. Our own Karen Villa, who's a graduate of the AR program, is now working with Centro del Pueblo in their community gardening effort. It was so neat to see her on the YouTube. It was so cool. One of the service learning students who worked with Humboldt Mediation Services is now the co-chair of the board, and several students have gone on to take the formal mediation and got a 40-hour training and gotten involved with that. And there's some other stories too. So it's a great chance to get connected in the Humboldt community. If I do ask that you've taken the basic research core for lower division, and this has elements of a real sort of position. You'll be interacting with the community partners, so professional, reliable, and truly interested in connecting with community partners. If you have any other questions, just give me an email. We can start a conversation. There's a small application process, but since advising is just around the corner for the spring, I wanted to let people know about it today. Thanks. Any questions?
I have a question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Luis.
No, you can go first.
Oh, okay. So I'm just curious about how you could enroll in this. Is it something that you have to apply for first, or is it open?
Yes, it's similar to a TA in the sense that you.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I see on the last slide here, it says there's a.
Yes, no problem at all. No problem at all. Yeah, you just send me an email if you're interested. Also, if anyone's interested in taking community psychology or abnormal psychology, they're going to be their own, people will have a service learning experience in both of those classes. So, but if you wanted to kind of level up and explore this opportunity, it has this facilitation component to it. I don't know about you, but I've noticed that in the Zoom world that we're stuck in as far as learning, when you get a small group together with enough people to listen to one another, but not so big that it's just lost, that's when the magic happens. So I'm kind of trying to grow that a little bit with this project, to have smaller teams where people get to know each other, get things done, and deal with the technology, right? Any other questions?
Gotcha. I'm gonna unmute myself. Oh, go ahead, Luis. Hit it.
I first want to apologize for the background noise. I'm like cooking right now. But how many positions are available for this opportunity?
Yeah, there'll be 10 to 12 total.
And it's like a class, correct?
It's a teaching assistant experience. So, and it's 3 units. So okay. Your advisor can break it down a little bit more, and maybe that's me. But there's a section that will count towards your psychology major that can include research assistant, teaching assistant, a couple other things. Mm-hmm. And so this would count towards that. And then also that maxes out at a certain point. You can't have over a certain amount, but this would count in that category.
Okay, thank you so much, Ben.
Sorry, Ben, this is where I was going to come in. So these are 497 units for undergrads, and if it's a grad student, it's a 683.
We have had grad students in the past. Gosh, I can't remember exactly if it was 683 or if there was like a 697 or something.
There's a 683 and a 684.
Probably 683.
The reason I bring it up, if it's a 497, 3 units will count as a breadth course requirement. Mm-hmm. So it can meet that requirement, so you don't have to take another lecture centered course.
Ooh,
and then 683, cool. 684 count towards your graduate units for grad students. If you're in the AR, it's one of the courses a lot of our students take to meet that requirement.
Yeah, you can use 3 units of it as an elective class as a graduate student. And but if you're using 695 as elective units, you can only use 3 units of 695 combined with 683, but it still counts for your overall. So if you're I need a few more units for financial aid, use it. Our grad students do it. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Maria.
Yeah. Yep. And advising, the email hasn't gone out, but advising will start on the 21st of September. We've changed the dates.
Eek. Sorry, was that out loud? Was that on mute?
That's okay. No, we made it a longer period, so you don't have to advise everybody in 2 weeks. You now have more time to advise.
Looking forward to it. I am, sincerely. I love it. Okay, great. So if you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you, Dr. Graham. And thank you, Dr. Gaffney and Dr. Intergroup for that more information on how we should, the unit cap and everything. So if there isn't any more questions for either of these labs or clubs, I will be throwing an Excel sheet and sending it out. Or you guys could email me if you guys would be interested in getting the Excel sheet. Unfortunately, my Zoom is being really weird and I can't see any of you guys. I just see a black screen. But if you guys are interested in receiving that Excel sheet, please email me. My email is edj12@Humboldt, and I could get that Excel sheet out to you guys, or the people who should contact if you guys are interested in these clubs and labs. Other than that, thank you everybody for coming, and I appreciate all of you and everybody who came and talked about their own clubs and what they are involved in. Thank you, and that concludes our first meeting.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry
Don't
for
forget
the
to drop the
stuff.
recording.